Good morning, YouTube. It's Trader Rob. Today is Monday, March 30th. Some big headlines here hitting around 6:30 a.m. this morning, which is this pretty strong wick to the upside here. Balanced out a pretty big unbalanced volume area that I actually had sitting in here, had a signal here, had a big unbalanced volume area, and that news headline that hit just completely whacked everything there. And that was due to the headline that had come out, I guess, positive talks with Iran. I know that they announced like a 5-day ceasefire on important infrastructure, oil, refinery, energy production in Iran. So the market, for about 2 minutes, reacted to that, balanced everything out over here. So staying a little neutral here. Still got a short bias, but staying a little neutral because of the fact that this pretty much balanced out all the volume that I was looking at currently. That's why you don't see a lot of red or green yet on my footprint analysis that I do. Some key areas that I'm looking for here this morning. Let's see if I can get these both on here. Yes. And let's see if I can do this again here a little bit better. Let's see here if I could do this. All right, so some key areas. We've got a lot of unbalanced volume sitting down here. I am a little bit more leery of the move to the downside for a long setup. It's got to be super clean if I'm looking for something like this at the 23,415 to the 23,372. I'm actually a lot more interested in this bigger unbalanced volume area from sellers sitting here at the 23,719. So we've got an area here that we can possibly take a short from, which is something that I would be very interested in. And more importantly, I've got secondly, I've got an area here that I can definitely short as a scalp setup right here at the 23,719. So this could turn into like an 8-point scalp, short scalp here for us. And as well, also set up for a bigger play if we can get into some juicier parts here of the unbalanced volume that's currently sitting here. This unbalanced volume area that I spotted at the 548 to the 559, this came from the retracement from news, which is what I told my signal members already this morning. It's not an area that I would scalp from. Just kind of want to see how the market will react in this area. But I don't put a lot of weight onto those big news headline spikes. Those are very market order driven, algorithm driven, so those kind of screw up the unbalanced volume areas that I spot. And I already told my members that today I'm definitely a little bit more scalp focused instead of the bigger plays. I just don't have a lot of conviction down here. This could work. This level down here could work, but I'm going to have to probably see a really, really perfect 120 flip here or a 60 flip somewhere in the middle part of this band is the only thing that I would be super interested in. And then besides that, to the downside, we've got some key levels down here at the 253, the 232, and the 188. So a lot of liquidity sitting down here as well that the market could want to go and attack. The ES, kind of similar. We got kind of a tricky area over here. So this area is just a little bit more tricky in the fact that we've got three areas, three key levels sitting here. We've got a big area of unbalanced volume sitting at the 6380s to the 6362s, which is that gray band that we've got here. Now, the only issue that I see with this setup down here is as price action comes back, we could see possible retracements here, and then a bigger move into this area right here. So again, this is going to be kind of a tough spot here to scalp from. We're in a very big high volume node here as well, but we're also have another high volume node sitting right here, as you can see on the volume profile. So there's a lot of juicy volume sitting right here. We're kind of have to see how the footprint here reacts to this big unbalanced volume area sitting below us. And then to the upside, a lot more interested in this area here. Again, we've got a pretty big unbalanced volume area sitting at the 65.53 to the 65.68. We do have a key level here at the 65.36. This is not a TP. This is just a key level right here. And again, the move here would be pretty simple. Just a rejection of this higher unbalanced volume. Hopefully get a nice little footprint here. And I know it's a little bit above where price action is currently sitting at. So we might have to wait a little bit here on the ES. The NQ looks like it's right about to tap into this unbalanced volume area. Also, one thing to note, I was able to get Bookmap onto our screens here now. So I've got the ES and the NQ that we can always switch over to, and that way you can kind of see the liquidity pockets that I'm also looking at when looking for scalps here. Todd, good morning. Tiger Trades, good morning. Chica, good morning. Nordic Joe, Rob, Keith, William, Joe, Joel, morning all. Already mapped out a few setups on gold already here this morning. One worked out. This one right here. Let me see if I can kind of blow this up here a little bit. Got a long setup at the 45.73.4, targeting the 45.77.7 with a stop at the 45.69. My only worry here is this sweep right here. So that's my only concern with this setup here on the GC. Below that, we've got another setup to go long at the 45.58.9, targeting the 45.64 with a stop at the 45.53. Okay, and now the NQ officially tapped into this unbalanced volume area. So we do have an area here of unbalanced volume sitting at the 23.502.50, targeting the 23.488 3/4 with a stop at the 23.515 that I'll be looking to scalp from here to the short side. Huge move to the downside here. This was about the area here that I said that, you know, if we got a price movement all the way to down here towards this middle part of this unbalanced, it's got a level right here too on the 15-minute, that I would be somewhat interested. Just from the beginning, this unbalanced volume area to me along here just did not seem like the absolute best play. So I'm just going to let this one kind of play out and see. I'll switch over here to the 60 and see what the 60 is telling us. But this to me looked very, very sketchy. So we'll see if we get the bounce here off of this small flip here. Looks like we would have. Again, on a trade like this, you do get a really nice risk to reward. You know, stop would be right underneath this footprint candle here. And because of the fact that this is a big unbalanced volume area, this would be a target of at least 30, 35, 36 points. But again, does not have that great feeling here about a long out of this reaction zone. Told that to my signal members, and obviously told you guys that at the beginning of the stream. We did get another area here of some unbalanced volume that the market's going to probably want to revisit here. Don't have the greatest TPs here though. P&L you see on the screen is a gold trade I took, gold scalp I took last night, just with 1 micro. All right, let's see what kind of reaction we get here. Let's see what the ATR is pretty low right now. We're sitting at about 13. which is within the limits of this little scalp here. So we broke through this unbalanced volume area sitting right there. Okay, don't like that. We just missed that tap in there to that entry by about a point. So I'm going to take this one off. So far, the only thing I see unbalanced right now is the 23,419 and a quarter, targeting the 23,408. The stop at the 23,430. AP, good morning. So the ES left a pocket here of liquidity at the on the 45, 46 area. This is coming down just a little bit here. You can see it right here. The 45s to the 47s got some decent liquidity sitting right at it. See if there's anything there that I can 46 to 47 right there is that box. Let's see. We got a small pocket here sitting at the 64.44 down to the 67.41 for TP. Stop loss at the 64.48. You kind of see how this trade setup here looks on the ES. We've got some good liquidity sitting at the 42.5, which is pretty much it right in between our TP and entry. But we've got a nice liquidity pocket sitting at the 64.45, which is right above our entry here. And we've got some decent protection going up into the 48s, close to the closely to the 50s, but should be enough protection there for our stop loss as well. And I am going to limit order entry into this signal here. I'm just a little gotta be a little cautious with your limit orders on any headline news. I mean, this could rip, and you could be in a position of not getting filled or worse. But definitely looking for a limit order there at the 419, and same for that ES scalping setup at the 64.44. Esther, good morning. Got a question for the chat. If anybody has any recommendations on any Windows desktop annotation tools besides using the built-in Windows screenshot capture quick markup feature, you know, to draw your annotations on screen like I was doing in the early part of the stream. If anybody's got some good recommendations for one, the Windows one's a little limited because I do have to take a screenshot of the actual screen. I know that there is some software out there that I could annotate on the live screen as like almost like an overlay, which I think would be pretty beneficial. All right, just looking for a quick rebalance here at the 23,348 and 3/4. I'd like to see this come pretty quickly here, though. Again, that's at the 23,348.75, targeting the 23,332.75, with the stop at the 23,367 and a quarter. So both the NQ and the ES have some levels down here to note at the 253, the 232, and the 188. So they could be coming for some liquidity down here. Very similar to the ES. We've got the 98s and the 89s, and then we've got this larger unbalanced volume area sitting down here at the 63.79, and good amount of volume sitting in that pocket there down below. Take a look at gold. So gold here again, we missed entry. Missed entry here by a point or two. Came actually really close to hitting TP before taking out the stop. This setup down here was very clean. Tapped right into our entry at the 45.58.9 and took TP1 very quickly. Next setup we have here in gold looks just like this. So the 45.21, targeting the 45.26.1 with a stop at the 45.15.9 in gold. You know, I don't know why it's doing that. I jacked up all my... Let's take a picture of this ES setup as well. Nordic the 12. I would say maybe for the smaller scalps, the 8. The 8 will be pretty good. The 8, between the 8 and the 12, depending on how big the setup can look. Let's see if we can get a tap into this unbalanced volume here area here. See if we can get the first win under our belt here for today. Under trade result, I am going to put one W. That was from last night. I just want to differentiate the P&L. So I don't want it to show $2,400 in P&L and think there was just one trade on a scalp. A9 account. Nice to have you. Glad you enjoy the music, Latino. Epic Pen is the most used software for this. However, there's a free alternative called Jink. Then there are plugins for OBS. Yeah, the OBS ones I've messed around with are very, they're very jinky. Epic Pen. Thank you for that. I'm gonna look into that. And Tiger Trades, that sounds... Epic Pen sounds like exactly what I'm looking for. Because what I don't like about the Windows annotation tool is I have to take a screenshot. It freezes the charts, which is obviously kind of... I mean, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world if you're just doing something really quickly, but... It's just a few extra steps that I don't think we really need to have. One more thing I wanted to note in gold. Gold has got a very big unbalanced volume area sitting here as well at the 44.95 to the 44.58. So this will be a very tough area for gold to get through. And then I'll give you what I'm seeing on the NQ for this 48 level. We've got a good little pocket of liquidity sitting right here between the 50 and the 47. So this I'm not too thrilled on this here. It seems very very manipulation tactic here, where now we get some liquidity that sits right here. We know we've got some sitting right in this area here, so I would hate to see a sweep right now. Still far enough away where it still have some conviction on the trade, but definitely a lesser setup at this point. Probably a B+ at this juncture. I'm willing to risk this reaction here. Again, my only concern here is this this area right here, a sweep. You get some liquidity that comes to sit here. It's a great place for the market just to spike, but we should still get the retracement down to the downside here. currently about $1,100 off of my monthly goal for March with the P&L that I've got currently booked. I would love to. I'd love to be able to hit the 10K for this March, which would then increase my goal for April to 15,000. You know, I know a lot of people like to kind of stay at the same goal, but the way I kind of look at it is, you know, if you hit your goal, you set your sights on a slightly bigger goal. No different than any other business. You know, you hit your quota for the month. You don't want to stay at that same quota. You want to push. You want to definitely push your salespeople. You want to push, you know, the sales side of your business, and the only way to do that is to, you know, to constantly be increasing. And you know, if I hit 15,000 in April, then I'll go to 20 and 25 and then 30, and eventually you're going to get to a point where your quota, you just don't have the demand. You don't have the equipment to handle, you know, the quotas that you set. So you either have to position size up, or, you know, in the case of like relation to a business, you know, you've got to either increase your square footage, you've got to increase your equipment, labor, whatever it is to help you get to that next goal. But if you stay kind of stagnant, it's difficult to keep moving forward, keep moving up. Come on, just tap in here. You got the 50s that you know you want. Let me just show you guys what the book map's showing us here. You got the 50s right here. It's going to be some pretty good volume for them to hopefully tap into. All right, so we're in this trade here. Let's see if we get a quick pop to the downside. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, so we absorbed those sellers there. Unfortunately, the last layer is at the 67, which is pretty much exactly where our stop's at, so we need a bounce right here. It's a pretty strong one here. Let's go. Nice. Nice TP right there. Not sure how many points that was. 16 and a quarter. And we're flat. Nicely done. So that was a good representation of how I find my unbalanced volume areas. Nice impulsive move, break of structure, go into level 2, confirm that you've got liquidity sitting here, confirm that it is an area that they've left unbalanced, which they did. My only concern, which is pretty close to what happened, was a spike. This wasn't a tap and go, which is what I prefer, obviously, in my trades, and what I'm actually pretty used to. I've been pretty spoiled on. But I am starting to understand the market dynamics here, where, you know, if they purposely manipulate, you know, their price action to create their own pockets of unbalanced volume just to complete some auctions here. And, you know, my concern here was a spike, you know, a spike here in price action, which is exactly what we got. In fact, I showed you on Bookmap the 67.25s was my last layer of liquidity, last layer of defense here. So I even said, you know, this needs to move right now, and it's exactly when it went. Balanced out the volume, sitting right here. Nice, nice little trade scalp there. So 2155. That officially hits 10,000 for the month of March. Doesn't mean I'm stopping trading. Just means that I at least temporarily hit my monthly goal for the month. Morning, J-Loves. Thanks, Rob. I'd like to see this candle here take out this low down here. Before I take this scalp here. There's a tap. There's TP. That one kind of hurts. Pretty easy one to spot, though. That would have been a nice little scalper there. And if you're looking at Bookmap, you could just see the same exact thing. And a nice little piece of liquidity sitting right there. All right, so we got about 12 minutes here for IB to be set. Kind of feel like the NQ wants to test these areas down here at the 253s, 232s. I got a lot of liquidity, obviously, sitting at the 300s. This is a very natural stop loss area, so that's a good way for you to learn, you know, what are stops and what are position sizing. So if you've got Bookmap, yeah, let me see if I can bring this down just a bit here. Sorry, wrong. You can see the 300s. You see how you've got that very strong red band sitting right here. That 300 on this chart represents right at the top of this box right here. And you can see that it's pretty much at the low of a pivot here. And this is going to be included into here. So those are your... that's what can help you determine what's a stop loss area of liquidity versus what we've been seeing last week with position sizing on especially on the ES. Some big whales came in on some shorts, and you could see that again on the on Bookmap pretty easy. So now the market loves to manipulate. It will look for another pocket of liquidity, and it knows already that it's got a predetermined area that it could dump. It could dump its auction process here. So these are didn't really break any structure here. This could be a spot right here. We're very close to my TP2, which is why TP1, sorry, which is why my TPs usually get respected really well. When's Powell coming up? I thought he wasn't until like 2:30 this afternoon. Am I looking at the wrong? No, that's... I don't know, maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Am I doing the math wrong here? I'm pretty good on military time, and it's not making much sense to me. March 30th, 9:30, Dallas Fed Manufacturing Business Index. At 3 o'clock, Fed Williams speaks. And then I do see press secretary at 5. It shows 5 o'clock, 1700 hours. And then Trump participates in a photo op at 2:15. Fed Powell speaks at 2:30, 14:30. I don't know. It seems wrong on my financial juice because they're not going in chronological time order. But if anybody knows what's going on, let me know. He's at Harvard at 10:30. 10:30 Eastern, I'm assuming then. So current IB is set at the 23,292.50. We obviously got about 4 more minutes there, so this is not set in stone, just kind of preemptively putting it in there. And then you can see the same thing here represented on the ES. So the ES current low for the session is at the 64.13. And I'll show you guys here. So this would be your stop sitting right here. And you can see it represented very cleanly on the ES right here. This is your area right here of stops on the ES. This is not position sizing. This is just stops on everybody betting that the market's going to continue to go up from here. see here how this reacts. Let me take a little short here on the ES. Target 3 points, and let's see. I guess we're gonna need a little more than that. Got a flip right here. I think I probably want to come take out that flip, but we'll see. No. Let's see if this is what I needed here. That was being a little greedy. I should have probably increased stop right to where I had my line at, but we'll see. We'll see how this one works out. That was probably a hit to the P&L there. Stop should have been right here at the 64.33s. That was kind of a dumb play on my part. Well, we'll see. Hate to see it. That would have been... That was exactly on my stop. Not sure why I was so greedy there on my stop, but... Be right back, guys. Wow, I really hate to see that one. That was a very ill placement of my stop. I mean, literally to the tick. I needed it at the 64.33s. I don't understand why I did not just increase it right there. That would have been a beauty trade there for 6 points. And that one hurt a little bit. All right, so we tapped into the stops here. Let's see if we get a kick or if they come after this liquidity down here now. Man, I gotta tell you, that ES trade just hurt. Just looking at that. I mean, literally right to the tick. Fuck me. Yeah, this was the IB trade, wasn't it? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Nice little footprint there. Well, I was hitting my golf ball at that time, so I definitely missed that one. Yeah, nice flip there on the IB, on the 30 and the 60. Well, 2 missed opportunities there this morning. Man, it hurt the shit out of my wrist. All right, let's see what else we can cook up here. Hurt the shit out of my wrist. Take a look, see what gold's doing here. Nothing here yet. Trying to formulate a possible short here off of the IB. I think this market is still gonna continue down. We got some good targets down here. Just all right, I'm gonna take a short there. Really tight stop here, right around 10 points. See if we can get a quick meltdown here. See what ATR is it sitting at on the 1. That can't be right. Oh, it's only 12 points. All right. We'll take the profit there. That seems really low for ATR right now, but I really wanted this target right here at the 253, but ATR was sitting at 12. That can't be right. It's 21, you idiot. What the fuck was I looking at? That was dumb. Only 11 points on that one. But got a flip there on the 30. Was really trying to find something on the 60, but 60 didn't give it to me. Let's see. So ATR is sitting at 20. That's not what I want to do. $18.5, so I wouldn't have gotten to that ATR. And I believe my stop would have, nope, did not get hit yet. It was sitting right above this footprint right here. Let's see if we respect that and drop down. Really hurt the fuck out of my wrist. I don't even want to tell you what I did right now with my golf swing. Fuck. Let's see. I think the market takes this out right here. I don't think that we're done with these levels down here. Again, I think the market takes this out right here, and we come back and we take a peek at this guy right down here. This is your leg down that broke structure here. Got a good amount of volume here. Good place for stops right here at the 50s. And again, it's evident on Bookmap. You can't see it. Right there, 50. See that band right there? Those are all stops. Great little area right there. Excuse me. Yeah, we just tapped right into it and it's going to be gone. Let's see. On this move, we should at least overtake this candle down here. I mean, that was the sweep. So if you're in a short and we break above here, you're cooked. This has got to get taken out down here. The 282s ish, I should say. Oh, you're not even on this main screen. Sorry. Hopefully you guys saw my annotation there. You know, sweep of this right here, which was the stops that I was showing you at. Now we should, at the very minimum, take out this 23,282 area right down here. It should be a straight shot. If we come back and we come over this 23,663, that short idea is no longer valid. But this should definitely take out this IB again and this level down here. Go take it out. Come on. You know you got to take this out right here. Stop messing around. And this, again, is just basic auction theory. They have to take this out. This is the only place for them to balance out right now. You'll see a little hang up here at the 87s, right in between these two pockets right here, and then they'll just wick this out. At least they've got to the IB, which was my first area, but this is where the juicy stuff's at. This is a place for them just to close it out real fast. %95 chance of them necking this out, 5% chance of them taking this top part out. Be right back, guys. Let's see if the 5% wins here. It did. Yeah, pretty damn close though. You need about 5 more points there. That would have been pretty simple one there to spot. What else do they got up here? I got nothing here. Spike structure here. Did not. Get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy, this guy. We can get through the 382s. This will be the second leg to the upside here. Still a down day overall. Let's see if the bulls now have something to say about that right here. Okay. So is Powell speaking right now? Or is it at 10:30 Central Time? Let's see. I guess I can answer my own question. Oh yeah, he is speaking. Well, he's been speaking for half an hour. We have a resilient financial system now. We're watching private credit closely. Yeah, no shit, it's out of control. We shouldn't be trying to regulate risk out of existence. We have significantly hardened the system against the kind of losses seen in the financial crisis. Why the hell is he talking about that? We don't know what economic effects the current situation will have. Not facing yet the question of what to do. Fed's tools have no meaningful effect on supply shocks. This came out at the 45. All right, let's take a look at this opportunity here. Not seeing a whole ton of volume here at the 19s though. It's pretty naked here. 17's coming in a little bit. 17, 19. What's going on at the 45s? 45s. Those are just a little bit of stop sitting up there. That doesn't seem very target worthy. I don't know. 420 is currently pretty naked up here. Not getting a good vibe here. Yeah. No, there was just nothing there. Not a good vibe whatsoever there. That was a good non-trade there. All right, on to the next one. Where's the IB high at? 23,538. Okay. J Loves, what do you? Oh, I think you might have answered that already. As far as the platform, did you say you were trading on the phone? Sorry, I don't know why I'm on that split screen there. says AI is making people more productive. There is no denying it's a challenging time to enter the job market. Fed's Powell very optimistic about the medium and long term. The U.S. economy remains dynamic and productive. The labor market is challenged by longer-term secular forces. We are coming into a pretty big unbalanced volume area sitting right here. You just tapping in right now. We got something a little interesting here on the NQ. So the NQ's got a ton of volume sitting at the 300, which is this green box I've got right here on my main screen right here. This is definitely not a stop loss area. This is definitely more of a position play here. Did spot an area of unbalanced volume at the 322. I'm just a little leery taking a scalp here. We can dip right into here. Might switch over to my 60 range in this area right here, around the 300s. And this is where I saw a scalping opportunity. But again, pretty naked on the book map where we're at. Especially missing target there by a couple ticks. Excuse me. Get a move here. We got clean TP there. Another clean TP right there. So they're all unbalanced right there. Not seeing a flip here though. We absorbed everything on bookmap. And sellers still coming in. Now we've got the 250s, which is right at this area right here. They made Swiss cheese of this guy. So I've left this completely unbalanced. Sellers at the 23,436 to the 402s. Again, big pocket of liquidity sitting at the 250s. Coincides with one of our levels here today at the 253. We'll see if we can take a scalp here. JLo, I do not know. The max that I'll ever do on my phone is pull up TradingView just to see price. The NT version for mobile is practically garbage. It could be a last ditch resort, you know, to get in and out of a trade, but it's very buggy. I haven't used it actually, to be honest with you, in months, but it's very buggy. I saw a question here. About my son. Oh, his trading's gone. So he requested a payout on his Legends funded account. He requested a $500 payout, and as of Friday, they still had not paid him out yet. It still showed pending, and it's been about, I want to say, 3 or 4 days. So I gotta ask him. He's on spring break right now, so he's probably upstairs sleeping. Or he might be on the market. He might be on the charts. I'm not sure. Did say he was looking forward to being able to trade this week during the day, during the morning. This area here is a unbalanced volume area that we're just currently tapping into. Nice footprint confirmation there. So those were where I had marked off for my TPs that I said were left unbalanced. I mean, the same thing is in the inverse. We obviously didn't tap into anything down to the downside here, so they just tapped into unbalanced volume, and that's where you see the reaction to the downside there. That's probably good for about 15, no, maybe 10 points. 8 points maybe, 9 1/4. Forgot I was on the 30 there. We take this off and this off. These are two still unbalanced areas up there. Not sure what I can do with those yet, but So yeah, he's waiting on his $500 payout on his Legends account. He did start up back on a Top Steps, whatchamacallit, their combines, evaluation accounts. So he blew the 2 funded accounts that he had. So they've balanced all of this out already. Nothing to do there. So Bazo asked how to get Bookmap. Here's a link to it. I'm not sure if you get a discount with this link or not, but you could try using it. Don't hold me to it. I don't know if there's a discount or not. In my opinion, this unbalanced volume area here sitting at the 23,436 is going to be kind of telling for us here for the rest of the morning to the afternoon. So we can get another bounce to the downside here, or possible continuation play up here. don't have much of a... I mean, the markets in general have been, it's been pretty tough in general here the last about hour and a half, besides that IB trade. So you can take a look. The ES has got a pretty classic move here. They've got the 640s right here. Again, another stop hunt right here. Easy area for them to open up some auctions here. So could very easily see something like this here. So a sweep down below. Or maybe just a tad bigger sweep down below. I would not like to see this move too much to the downside here. NQ's doing much. I don't even know if you guys saw that annotation that I did there. Probably didn't. Sorry, it's the first day that I got Bookmap up on the screens here, so it's taking me a little time to get used to flipping through the scenes here. So what I had just mentioned is very possible sweep of that liquidity there, and then a not a whoa. That's not what I want to do. Or a little bit higher and a sweep right there. That's what I see on the ES. And Basil, just remember with Bookmap, there's like 2 subscriptions that you need there. So I've got the global subscription, I believe. And then you're going to need, you also need market data for it. So they've got like a Bookmap DX feed or a CME feed. So you do have to subscribe to both. They do run one really good sale, but that's closer to Thanksgiving. I think Bookmap really only runs like 1 sale per year. But I'm pretty sure with that code there might be some discount applied, but I'm not 100% sure. Can't wait to mess around with this Epic pen tonight. I think this might solve exactly what I'm looking for here. All right, big absorption here. So there was a sweep of the stops. Getting a decent flip here, potential. Let's just see if they take out this remaining pocket right here at the 45s. At the 45s and the 47s. To me now the shorts are looking like in play here. Okay. Absorbing there. Big buyers coming in through here. All right, so you got to be careful here now. This is position sizing now here. Where's the next one at? We already went through this. 55s up here. Let's see what the 30 showing us here. And Q just got into their supply, seller supply zone. Let's see if they take out the 55s here, right up here. And now they're coming into 60. So this is classic positioning now. These are definitely positions here. So to me, this market looks like it's gonna wanna. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Probably should be doing this on the ES chart. It might be easier. Let's move this along here, and then let's add one more. There's another one for you. This is a big pocket of unbalanced volume for the ES. But they still do have this guy sitting up here too. Let's take a look at the NQ. NQ, let's see, they've got a pocket sitting right here at the 420s. Just got to figure out where they get exhausted at here. Nothing yet showing me there on the 12. I don't want to take a scalp from the 30 today. And Q looks pretty nice though. And Q's probably going to give us a flip right here. Really like the short there. Wish I would have tapped into this liquidity right here, which is what I'm a little afraid of. Actually, there's not much to be afraid there anymore. Fuck. This was the short setup right here. All right, let's see if they do retap into here. This just seems so clean right here. Seems like a very clean short. Sorry. Promise I'll do better of not forgetting that I'm on the bookmap screen instead of my chart. Tricky little spot here. Yeah, I think I'm going to sit on my hands here, unless they sweep this bigger pocket of liquidity with the footprint flip. This is that area that I said we could either get the bounce to the downside here, or we can get a continuation to the upside. All right, we'll wait it out here a little bit. And I'm sorry, my thesis wasn't that. My thesis was either a reaction here down, which is what we initially got. My second one was just a sweep up here down. So they are protecting these now, the 415s. I think is the number right there, which you can see right here. Strong area right there, 207 contracts. I don't know, this might be either the place that they protect or we sweep this. It's a tricky little spot here. Definitely would have been in some drawdown taking this short right here. I would have been feeling really good. I'm starting to feel real bad. 15 points. So on the 5, we're at about a 46 ATR, and on the 1, we're about 17. Which this is a bigger air zone for me, so I got to be targeting somewhere closer to those 35 to 40 points, maybe 30 points. It's tough shorting from here right now when I know that the ES is stacked right above it. They've got the 50s, the 55s, and the 60s, exactly 5 points apart is each liquidity, each position size area right here. The 50, 55, 60s. All three of those areas plus 120 contracts. Guys, I think it might be a good time here to call it a day for the YouTube stream. Almost $2,000 there in profits, brings my monthly goal here to about 9,900. So pretty close to hitting target here for March. Some good trades. Two winners on stream, one loser. Came in with the thought of, you know, kind of concentrating on the scalps here today, and I think that kind of proved to be kind of the right move here. Also taking into account some of the datas from Monday's performances, but yeah, overall a pretty decent session. All right, guys, I'll see you guys here tomorrow morning at market open, and try to stay patient. Some good absorption there. So we'll see what the market wants to give us here. Take care, everyone.